it's kind of late, but I just wanted to start my next video and show you guys that yeah, I'm a typical car guy. When your cars don't get driven, they sit in your garage, they kind of become workbenches. So the Falcon's kind of unburied because I've been working on it the best I can. But tonight we're actually gonna try to start putting this in so I can get my steering column built. You know, this car originally had one of those spear of death steering columns, and I am actually taking the bottom half of a Maverick column and the collapsible parts and adapting it to fit into this car, so that way I can use the Maverick steering box with the rag joint and also give myself a little bit safer steering column. I'm going to use the Falcon upper portion so it keeps that classic look, but it'll have this shift linkage here and a bunch of other parts. So I'll pull those out and you guys. Alright, like I said, I was going to show you some of the pieces I have. So this right here actually came out of a 60 something, it's a late 60s Ford truck. The little marker is a little different than the Falcon, factory Falcon one, but my Falcon one's kind of chewed up, and that pin right there is really loose. And I found this and I figured, heck, you know, for the $5 I spent at the junkyard for it, I figured, why not? I am going to change that arm out to run the factory Falcon arm, but that shouldn't be a problem. So right here is the lower piece to that collapsible column, and cut it off just right above, give me plenty of room to weld on. You know, and so I actually just used a chop saw and took that right off. Real nice straight cut. And right, you know, so right here is where the neutral start safety switch sits, which in turn sits in this groove right here. So my plan is I will get this linkage hooked up, and hopefully I can make this work. We will find out. I elongated the bolt holes, if you can see that. They used to be just round. It was a little off when I tried to install it the other day. And so I elongated the holes, so hopefully everything will line up there. And once this linkage is connected, I can figure out how I'm going to mount this piece with the steering shaft. You know, see the collapsible right there. Inside of it, with, you know, this inside, the shifter inside, steering shaft inside of that, and then this mounted on against the firewall. And once all that is mounted, I can figure out how much length I need off of my factory column and can go cut it off. I'm probably going to have to take off the end of this piece. This is to shift it from the factory Falcon, 64 Falcon, and weld it onto the end of this tube to give me the right length for my shifter. And hopefully it won't be too big of a deal and I can figure it out. We will see what happens, and if not, I will be searching for a factory power steering gearbox for a Falcon or a Comet, which I really don't want to look for because I would need a V8 one, because like I said before, I am actually running the Maverick steering, the Maverick center link, so I could run the disc brake spindles on the front of this. I've seen a guy online that did it with a Granada. He put the idler arm at an extreme angle. With the Maverick steering link, it's at a slight angle, and I'm hoping that I might be able to adjust it by spinning in the power steering control valve. But haven't crossed that bridge yet. We will see when I get there. Alright, I figured I'd open the hood up for you guys, since I've, you know, haven't seen the motor in it yet. Come on, light. Alright. So, oh, come on. There we go. So there it is. That is the 250 that I put in this car. It was in, and I can post a couple pictures up, but I had a 77 Ford Maverick that was my daily driver. Fun little car. I made the mistake. I turned left in front of a lady that ran a red light, and she totaled it out for me. But I pulled the motor, saved it, and now it's in my Falcon. If you see down here, you can see the Maverick gearbox in there, and you can kind of see the Maverick steering link and stuff. And if you see, the inner tie rod is nice and inbound from where it would be on a factory Falcon steering. So that should help eliminate the bump steer problems.
I am the hot rod man. I am the hot rod.
All right. So I think that might work. I don't know if you can see it down in there. It's a shift mechanism right there. Now if you look, see this right here, when you shift it down, shifts the gears, and so on and so forth. And you can see right in there that she's moving. So as long as I can get the shifter stuff to line up on the outside right here and line up with this little guy, I think we're in business. I think that it's going to work out just fine. We're just going to have just enough room. You see how close that is to the firewall? Just enough room to make that work. Once I get that figured out, that's a huge step. So, yeah, it should be good. Alright, now I was talking about using the Maverick center link and whatnot. And if you look here, you see how the idler arm is slightly pushed to the passenger side. And I know the power steering control valve will spin on a little further, so my goal is to hopefully spin it on maybe 1 or 2 more turns if possible. And if I do that, I might pull that over and should center it up a little bit better. But it's really not off that far, and I think it'll work just like I need it to.